Hari Om to everybody who's here. Some of you I recognize. I've met you even earlier in some sessions, and many of you I'm meeting for the first time. So it is so much joy to meet all of you. I recognize some of you from Palakkad, some of you from Chintek. Most of the times that's where I've been. So I remember meeting some of you there. So this session is an introduction to our Chinmaya Vision program. Something quite interesting is that though we have been in Chinmaya Colleges for many years, some of us are attending the Chinmaya Vision program for the first time. Isn't that surprising? The entire college was created for the purpose of bringing education in the way that Gurudev's vision can be fulfilled. So that is Chinmaya Vision. And isn't it surprising that we have never had a training on what the vision is and how to implement the vision? Right? So anyway, late but done. So it is a very good thing. So we are all here to understand in depth, not in so much depth, but to whatever depth possible, the vision of Puja Gurudev and how we can bring it into our education in our colleges. Many times our idea is that, Swamiji, this CVP I've heard. In the sense, I've heard about CVP. But that is for schools, Swamiji. College students are grown up. So this is not for college. Let me tell you right away that Chinmaya Vision program is not for children alone. Chinmaya Vision program is not for the youngsters in our college alone. Chinmaya Vision program is for all of us. How can that be possible? You tell me, simplest thing. Okay, do each of us need physical health or not? Yes or no? Each one of us need to be physically healthy, right? Now you tell me, if we get to know a program by which we can be physically healthy, is it necessary for us or not? Of course it is necessary for us. By physical health, we don't only mean going to the gym. Even knowing how to protect ourselves against coronavirus is physical health. Correct or not? So that training is required or not? It is required for us. Like that, let me ask you, is maintaining emotional balance important for us or not? Swamiji, especially in colleges, Swamiji, it's very important. Not only that, in the times that we are teaching online, my God, it is so difficult to maintain our positivity, is it not? It is really difficult. Why? The first thing you'll have to tell everybody, switch on your camera, switch on your camera, switch on your camera. And if somebody has switched off the camera, probably they're eating or or they're there or they're not there also, we don't know. But we have to teach. It's so difficult. So to maintain emotional balance, is that important for us? Of course it is important for us. So that is part of Chinmaya Vision. Correct? Should we be creative or not? Think about it. Yes, Swamiji, I'm creating a lot of problems. No, not that creativity. Shouldn't we be creative in the way we teach? Shouldn't we be creative in the way we give assignments? Swamiji, I'm teaching the same balance sheet, For BCom students, for the last 30 years, I'm teaching the same topic. Ayyo, isn't that so boring? But if we bring creativity into our teaching, how interesting it can become and how effectively it can be done. So, don't we require creativity? At the same time, the ability to analyze new topics that are coming up and to go into the depth of it, we require analytical skills. How to develop that? That is also part of our Chinmaya Vision program. Think about it. And don't we require a spiritual vision in ourselves? What is spiritual vision? Spiritual vision is to understand life. That is spiritual vision. And to understand the goal of life. That is spiritual vision. Spiritual understanding has not been more important than any other time. In these 2 years of the pandemic, most of us have encountered somebody's death more than any other time in this particular 2 years, is it not? How do you understand death? How do we face death? Somebody who was just there passed away. Maybe some of your colleagues, maybe some of your friends passed away. What is death? What is life? How do we face death? How do we manage life? What is the purpose of living? What is the place of wealth? What is the place of money in our life? Isn't that understanding important for us? So that is spiritual. So this is part of Chinmaya Vision. So the whole point that I am trying to say is Chinmaya Vision program is not only to teach students. Chinmaya Vision is a part of how to live our lives very well. So imagine a person who's physically healthy, emotionally balanced, intellectually brilliant, creative, analytical, spiritually evolved. What an amazing life they will all live. Is it not? So it is to train us into that and to help our students also develop that when they are small itself, so that they live a very, very beautiful life. Chinmaya Vision aims at that. Okay, so the first thing I have to request all of you is to understand this aspect, that CVP is not only for school children, not only for college students, it is for us personally. And the biggest point is that all of us are into education, right? And it becomes our duty to ensure that this knowledge goes to them. It is on that basis that we are starting this particular session. So this program was evolved under Gurudev's guidance and direction by the Central Chinmaya Mission Trust Chinmaya Education Cell. The Chinmaya Education Cell guides and governs the vision implementation and the education process of all our schools and all our colleges. It is 50 years old and we have experience right now of 56 years. We have so many teachers and all that we have. So first question, let me ask all of you, what I would request you to put it in the chat because I would love our session to be interactive. Okay? So please come to the chat and please tell me, where do we see the result of education? All of us are educators, right? So please tell me, where do we see the result of education? Excellent, ma'am. But I don't know that ma'am's name. We see the result of education, fantastic in students and further in society, perfect. We see the result of education in life, we see the result of education in home, that's correct, in the transformation of society, fantastic in the society, in molding, in life, exactly. So the result of education, where do we see? We see the result of education in the quality of the society. Correct. Absolutely right. So the quality of the society is the result of education. Because education has to help us live life better. That is the purpose of education. So now when we ask, did our society become better out of 70 years of education in independent India? Has society become better or has society become worse? Okay, so let us take one aspect and we will tell. Physically, has society become healthier or has it become weaker? Think about it. Has it become healthier or weaker? Now, when does heart attack come? Earlier, it used to happen at 65, right? And nowadays, heart attack is coming when people are 40, people are 45, heart attack comes. One you can remember passed away out of heart attack when he was 29. This happened. 29, he got heart attack, he died. When did diabetes come? Earlier times, 55, 60, 65 diabetes used to come. Now when do people get diabetes? 35 people are getting diabetes, correct? When do people get BP? Oh, that's Swamiji. The moment we become a teacher, BP starts. No. That's not the point. Correct? BP, people are getting so much more earlier. So physically, we've not become better. Have we become better emotionally? Think of it as a society. Have our relationships, quality of relationships, has it improved or has it become bad? Quality of relationships. No? Number of divorces increased. Number of suicides increased. Number of cases between brothers increased. Correct? Relationships have not become better. Ability to handle situations have not become better. Statistics clearly show that Kerala is the leader in suicides among youth across the country. Isn't that true? So if education has been so good, why are youngsters in Kerala committing suicide more and more? Correct? Shouldn't we think about it? Which means emotionally we have not become better. Intellectually, in the way we operate things, have we become better? If we have become better, why is it that our creation has been causing so much pollution? Pollution has increased, and diseases have increased. What do you say? Violence has increased. So intellectually also we have not grown bigger. We have created equipments, but equipments have not led to better quality of life. So there is something wrong in our thinking. Intellectually also we have not grown. Salaries have increased, happiness has reduced. Correct or not? So spiritually also we have not become better. So if I have to summarize, education has increased, but society has reduced in quality. This is a fact. So the point that we have to ask is, then is education achieving its purpose or not? The point is, it is not achieving its purpose as it should be achieving its purpose. So who's responsible for this? Education is given by the teacher. So the teacher is responsible for this. That is the point. You cannot shirk a responsibility of how the society is going, because each one of us are the people who are educating society. And if that has not been successful, who has to take the responsibility? The teachers. Don't worry, including me. We have to take the responsibility. So the question is, what are we missing in our education? There is something fundamentally that we are missing, and because of that, though we are working so hard, correct? Each one of us are putting our effort, putting our time, working quite hard, and yet result is not coming. Why? So let us see why. Okay, I would request you to participate in a small activity that I want you to do. Okay, so please take a pen and a paper. Fine, please take a pen and paper. I would request everyone to do this activity. Okay, if you don't have a pen and paper, please take one and be ready. You have to do simple things. Okay, you have to draw one square first. Yeah, please draw a square. Fine. Now draw a triangle above the square. Yeah, good. Swamiji, I am happy with your activities. You are giving us simple activities. Thank you. Fine. Third, draw a circle above the square. Draw a circle above the square. Fourth, inside the square, please draw a rectangle. Inside the square, draw a rectangle. Finish? Now, draw another rectangle beside the square. Fine. Usha ma'am, Rekha ma'am, I would love to see your drawings, okay? Inside that rectangle, please draw a square. Inside the rectangle, draw one square. Appa. Last instruction. Above the rectangle, draw a parallelogram. Simple. Above the rectangle, please draw a parallelogram. Okay? Finished? I'm sure you're all fantastic at drawing. Okay. So now I request you to show me your drawing near the camera. Okay? So let me request 2-3 teachers to show me that. Can I request Ramya ma'am? Ramya ma'am, can you show your drawing in front of the camera, please? Ramya ma'am. Yes, yes. Close to the camera. Close to the closer, please. Very good. Fantastic. Okay, Vinayak sir, no? Vinayak sir, can you show it close to the camera, sir? Closer to the camera. Closer, still closer. Thank you. Fantastic, sir. Excellent drawing. Very good. Okay, Nara. There is a Nayana ma'am. Can you show your drawing? Very good. Fantastic. So let me ask you, Vinayak sir, what is that you've drawn, sir? You can unmute. What have you drawn, sir? Other teachers also. What have you drawn? Swamiji, you asked us to draw something, we drew. Fine, but what is it? That is some figures. Okay, so if that is so, let me draw the same things. First, I requested draw a square. Second, I requested draw a triangle. Third, I requested draw a circle. Fourth, I requested draw a rectangle inside the square. Fifth, I requested draw a rectangle beside the square. Then I requested draw a square inside the rectangle. And finally, I requested draw a parallelogram. Ayyo. Same instructions to all of us. And yet, the result was different. Correct? Now let me ask Vinaya ma'am. Vinaya ma'am, would you please unmute? Yeah, thank you. Vinaya ma'am. What is the drawing that you drew? Vinaya ma'am, can you hear me? I'm sure you can hear me. Vinaya, yeah, I will ask you to. Oh, you're not able to unmute. Yeah. So please unmute and tell me. Mute participants on entry, allow participants to. Yeah, you can unmute by yourself. Okay, good. Can you unmute now? Vinaya ma'am, can you still? Okay, Vinayak sir, you unmute. Good. Vinayak sir, you please tell me how come I drew this? How come you drew that? My question is, why is that you didn't draw a house?
I was not knowing what I just following the instructions given by you, but
Okay.
I did not had any clear picture regarding what you were about to that what I was about to draw actually.
Fantastic, fantastic. That's correct. Swamiji, you cheated us. You should have told us we are going to draw a house and then you should have given us instructions. Then we would have drawn the house. You know what? With education also, same thing is happening. We are very sincere in our work. We understand our work, but finally, what is the result that we want from our work that we are not clear about? So, the vision of education is what is missing. And because the vision of education is not clear, all the efforts that we put in, still we are not able to get the result what we want. Something comes out. So, this is the vision of education. The vision of education is transformation. This is the vision of education. So, if anyone asks us, why are you teaching? Then our answer in one word should be to transform students. That is the purpose of education. So, what do you mean by transform? To transform means to change. To make the person somebody much, much better than what the person came in as. So that is the vision of education. So our Guruji Swami Tejomanji so beautifully said that action without a vision will cause confusion. So if you want to see the confusion, Vinayak sir, you can see your own drawing. Something was drawn, but what it was, we don't know. So action without vision causes confusion. At the same time, vision is there, but no action, then it only remains imagination. But when we do action with vision, then it creates transformation. So now the question is, how can we bring the transformation, and transformation of what? When we say we have to transform ourselves or we have to transform the children, what are we supposed to transform? So the answer is we have to transform their character. We have to transform their personality. We have to transform their character. So when the character is transformed, the person is transformed. So now the question is, how do we transform character? So we have to ask, what is character? Right? So just as a house is built out of bricks, character is built out of values. So the values that a person has becomes the character becomes the person becomes the society. So what transformation are we trying to bring? Transformation of the society through transformation of the student, transformation of the student by transforming their character, and transforming the character by transforming their values. This is the purpose. So when we ask, what is the aim, vision of education? It is transformation, transformation of character, transformation by giving values. Stronger the bricks, stronger is the house. Stronger the values, stronger is the person. This is the whole point. So now the question is, I have to ask you the question. So please come back to your chat again. Okay. I have to ask you the question, what is value? Please define value. Okay. I'm not asking what are the values. What is value? What is value? Please define. Please put it on the chat, all of you. It is a set of goodness. Okay. It is our way of living and beliefs. Inspirational attitude. Being human. Humanity. Way of thought. Okay, please keep going ahead. Good. Good. Unwritten set of rules. Interesting. Good. Attitude and humanity. Okay. Mulya. Okay, thank you, teacher. Guiding force. Principles. Okay. Worth in good. Culture is value. Okay. So, in simple terms, let me tell you what is value. Okay. Thank you very much. Concern for others. Humaneness. All of these are different values. But the question is, what is value? Okay, that's a question. Simplest answer. Okay, and this we should remember. Something that makes a thing valuable is called a value. Anything that makes a thing valuable is called a value. First idea. So, value is anything that makes a thing valuable. So now the question comes, what is valuable? The answer is, whatever is useful is valuable. Okay. Let us say I have a phone. Okay. And what phone? I've got a Samsung phone. Appa. And I've got a advanced Samsung phone. Let us say. But the only problem with the Samsung phone is that it does not work. That's the only problem. Okay. I've got a Samsung phone, advanced Samsung phone, but it does not work. My question is it valuable? No, it is not valuable. Why? Because it is not useful. Correct? So the question is, what is value? Value is anything that makes a person or a thing useful to themselves and to society. Simple, but the most comprehensive definition. Value is anything that makes a person or a thing useful to themselves and to society. So, in that matter, let us ask, what are the values? How do we understand this is a value, this is not a value? We have to check whether this thing is useful to the person and the society or not. That is value. So please tell me, is good health a value? Yes, good health is a value. Why? Yes, Rajesh ji.
If you are having good health, then only we can follow the rest of the things. We can obtain other values.
Perfect. Good health is useful to us because it makes us productive and we can be useful to others. Correct. Good health is a value. Now let me ask Dr. Smita. Is compassion a value, ma'am? Dr. Smita ji. Would you please unmute? Dr. Smita. Are you typing in the chat? You can just unmute and speak. Can you hear me, ma'am? I don't know. Looks like you're not able to unmute. I have permitted unmute. Fine. I'm not able to get a response. Let me ask Vinaya ma'am. Vinaya ma'am, can you unmute?
Yep.
Yes, Vinaya ma'am. Thank you. So please tell me, is compassion a value? Again, yeah.
I can hear. Yes, sir.
No. Is compassion a value? Please tell me. Please unmute and tell me, ma'am.
Yes,
Unmute.
it is
Okay.
a value.
So why is compassion a value?
Difficult to explain in words.
Simple answer. It is useful to us.
If it is useful, it is useful to society.
Exactly. That is why compassion is a value. Simple. Right?
Yes.
It makes me deal with society better, and society can deal with me better if I have compassion. It's a value. Is singing a value? Anita ma'am, Anita Haridas ma'am, is singing a value?
It's not a value, sir. It's a talent,
Correct.
capability.
Yes. Now the question is, does it make me more useful, and does it make me more useful to the society? Singing.
If you are very passionate and if you make your singing to make others enjoy, and if you help them with your singing, music therapy is there. So in that
Correct.
case, yeah, in that case, we can say it is helpful.
It is a value, right?
It's a
Then.
value.
Exactly. So singing is a value. I may have it, I may not have it, but singing is a value because I can convey so many things through singing which I may not be even able to convey through words. One inspirational song, I can change somebody's life. Right? So it is a value. Telling jokes, is it a value or not? Let me ask our Manisha ma'am. Manisha ma'am, telling jokes, is it a value or not?
Definitely, sir. If it is a good joke, it spreads happiness or make people feel light and remove stress.
Correct.
So it's
As a
considered as well.
teacher, as a
But
teacher,
the joke is simple and good.
right. So as a teacher, to tell jokes is a value or not? Only then students will enjoy the class. Correct or not? Exactly.
Yes, Swamiji. Yes.
So to tell jokes is a value. So you see, values are physical, values are emotional, because whatever that helps us grow is called a value. Okay. So here I want, so what did Gurudev expect of us? Gurudev expected of us to create the leaders of tomorrow. Gurudev said, such heroes we have to create. And this is what we are doing. This is what we are doing. So, why are Chinmaya colleges existing? It is existing because Gurudev, through the colleges, wanted to create the leaders of tomorrow. So, the question is, what is our responsibility? Is our colleges creating the leaders of tomorrow? Please let us analyze. Is our college equipped to create tomorrow's leaders? Is it equipped? Are we as teachers equipping the students to become tomorrow's leaders? Are we training them? How many of our students have become collectors? How many of our students have joined civil services? How many of our students have become panchayat heads? How many of our students have become, what do we call that? Creating enterprises, let us say, where 500 people work. These are leaders of society. Think about it. What are you doing in order to create that? The point we'll have to tell here is what is the method of transformation? Okay. So again, we will have to tell what are we missing. I'm taking a simple example here. We teach children about trees. Okay. So we teach children parts of the tree. Of course, not in college, but I want to take a simple example. That is why I'm taking this example. We teach children in 3rd standard, 4th standard parts of the tree, and we teach children what are the uses of a tree. This is how we teach. And we tell the children, remember, this is an important question. It will come for the exam. So the child goes back home, practices it 10 times, 20 times, uses 30 papers, draws the tree, writes the answer, goes to the exam, does it properly and gets full marks. So the student has learned about the tree. Correct? This is how we teach. But my question is, what happened because we taught about the tree? Let us now see what happened. Okay. One tree gives 80,000 papers. Okay. Let us calculate now. One tree gives 80,000 papers. One school of 800 children, we have 8,000 papers per day is used. In 10 days time, one school finishes one tree, gone. Okay? In a year, approximately 240 academic days, one school per year finishes off 24 trees. Okay? We have CBSE schools, senior secondary, we have 11,800 schools in India. 2,83,200 trees per year are finished in 11,800 CBSE schools. Imagine state board schools, imagine colleges, imagine international schools, and imagine exams 6 times a year. Okay? So, they destroyed 2,83,200 trees to learn about what? To learn about trees. Fantastic, no? Amazing, right? So, having learned about trees, the question is, how many trees did the children plant? You learned about trees, correct? How many trees did you plant then? Oh, Swamiji, I didn't plant any tree. Then, what is the purpose of learning about the tree? Because before learning about the tree, you didn't plant a tree. After learning about the tree, also you didn't plant a tree. Then, what is the purpose of learning about the tree? If the tree had a mouth, the tree will tell, please don't learn about me. At least so much paper I will be saved. If you learn about tree, I am gone. Correct or not? Do you see what is missing? So, what is happening is, we are teaching about trees. Knowing is happening. Children are knowing the parts of the tree. They are knowing the uses of a tree. They are knowing. But the problem is, no feeling is created towards the tree. They don't feel for the tree. The tree is giving me so much. I should be doing so much for the tree. That doesn't come. Feeling is not created by the teacher. And therefore, the student does not do anything about the tree. Do we understand now? So, before studying about the tree, the student doesn't do anything about the tree. After studying about the tree, also the student doesn't do anything about the tree, which means no transformation happened. So the whole process of teaching about the tree has been wasted because nothing happened. So the point is, what we should do when we teach, we should cover all these three aspects. Knowing aspect, feeling aspect, and doing aspect. So only where the child knows, feels, and does something about it, only there transformation has happened. If no or nothing has been done, then no transformation has happened, education has been wasted. This is the point. Right? Most of our education stops at knowing. No feeling is generated, no doing is generated. So the point is, how many English teachers who taught English poetry, how many of the students started writing poetry in English? If not, what is the purpose of teaching poetry? Or how many children started appreciating and reading poetry after you taught poetry to them? Think about it. If they did not start writing poetry or they do not appreciate poetry after you taught them, what is the purpose that we achieved? Like that, we should teach our education. So it should have what? It should have knowing, it should have feeling, and it should have doing in our system. So our education system is what? Is value based education. This is our education system. Okay. So what is value based education? This also is a specific definition. All of us know mark based education. All of us know. Correct or not? What is mark based education? That education in which mark is the aim, that is mark based education. So who is the best student? Based on marks. Correct or not? So somebody who draws the tree properly and writes its uses properly, such a person gets first rank. Somebody who actually goes and plants a tree but does not write the answers properly, such a person does not get first rank. So that education system is called mark based education, where a rank is based on mark. Who is best teacher? Best teacher is one who gets best marks for the students. Correct or not? That is best teacher. Which is best college? Ayyo, parayye venda. Best college is that which gets highest percentage for its students. Best college. That is called mark based education. So the aim of education is to get marks. That is mark based education. But Chinmaya Vision program is value based education program. Meaning the aim of education is to create values. That is the aim of education. So why do we teach mathematics? Answer should be to create values. I teach mathematics. Why do you teach business studies? To create values, I teach business studies. Remember, values is not only truth, honesty, punctuality, etc. Not only that. Anything that makes the person useful to society is a value. So through mathematics, if you teach the child analytical skills, you have given them value. Through biology, if you teach them observational skills, you've taught them value. If you teach compassion through your poetry, you have taught them values. So the purpose of education, the purpose of teaching is to create values. So such an education system is called a value-based education system by which we can create values. So to finally conclude, if we have to create such students, then we have to be teachers with a difference. Because only inspired teachers can create inspired students. Okay? So the point is, let us be inspired teachers to create inspired, inspiring students. That is the purpose of our teaching. So if that is the case, my point that I want to say now ultimately is we have to become inspired teachers. I will take only 3 minutes more. Okay? Let me ask you all. You don't have to answer it, but ask yourself. Because I asked this question to myself. How many of us can tell our students, okay, directly we can tell our students, listen, you have to become like me. Enne pole nee varanam. How many of us can tell our students this? Think. Swamiji, I tell my students, enne pole avaradu ട്ടോ. നീ ഗാന്ധിജിയെ പോലെ ആവണം, അബ്ദുൽ കലാമിനെ പോലെ ആവണം, മാർട്ടിൻ ലൂതർ കിങ്ങിനെ പോലെ ആവണം, നീ എന്താ പറയാ നെപ്പോളിയനെ പോലെ ആവണം. Correct or not? How many of us can tell, become like me? My question is, why can't we tell that? So the student turns back and asks us, Miss, you are telling become like Gandhiji. Miss, why are you not like Gandhiji? And then we tell the students, adakka bhayangara kashta ട്ടോ. It is all very difficult. So the student replies to us and tells, ma'am, sir, if you yourself find it difficult, how can we find it easy? We also cannot. Isn't that true? So what the student requires is role models. And we have to transform to become those role models for our students. So we have to be physically fit. And then we can tell our children, you have to be physically fit. Teacher then, ayyo, enike bhayangara tired. And then the teacher is telling, students, you have to be physically fit. How will it happen? It cannot happen. Teacher is highly emotional. And the teacher is telling the students, you have to be calm always, okay? Teacher, എങ്ങനെയാ teacher അത് ചെയ്യുക? Think about it. So therefore, we have to master CVP and become role models so our students can pick it up. So all the values that we have learned, all the values put together, right? What is done in Chinmaya Vision program is that whatever values can be taught of, all the values have been segregated into 4 categories or into 4 boxes. Okay? Whatever values we require to teach, to imbibe in ourselves and in students, we have segregated into 4 categories, 4 boxes. First one is called integrated development. Second one is Indian culture. Third one is patriotism. And fourth one is universal outlook. Okay. So first one is integrated development box. In that some values are there. Indian culture related values, patriotism related values, universal outlook related values. We have these values. Okay. Now Indian culture integrated development, we have divided into 4 values, 4 boxes again, which is physical development, mental development, intellectual development, and spiritual development. These are the 4 boxes under integrated development: physical development, mental development, intellectual development, spiritual development, and patriotism, Indian culture, and universal outlook. Like this, there are 7 categories of values that we have to teach our students. This is the whole point. So then the whole point is that when we teach the children these values, they transform. Through them society transforms. Through them the world transforms. So now the question becomes, what are the values to be taught? First point. And second point, how can we teach these values through our regular lessons? I'm stopping share now. Okay. So the remaining part of the training is going to be, what are the values under each category that our students should develop, we should develop. And second, how do we teach them these values through our own lessons? Okay, this is the idea of our meeting. So now the whole point is, what are the values that has been shared to you? I think it is put in the chat. So please go to the chat box, and there is a file there, CVP topics and subtopics. Please click on that file and you can download it into your computer or your phone. This we will be using throughout the entire training program, today, tomorrow, and day after. So this paper you will have to be using. Okay, thank you very much. So this is just the introduction. What is that? Picture abhi baki hai. This is only the trailer. Okay, so I'm sure we will have wonderful sessions. Thank you very much. It is nice meeting you. Hari Om.